about the kind of country we want to be. And to understand that the tone of our democracy, the tone of our political debates is set by those politicians who get sent to Ottawa to represent their communities. And if there isn't clear condemnation of the kind of cowardly bullying we've seen, of the kind of hate-filled rants and violent words used against people, to say this has no place in our democracy. We can disagree, and we need to disagree with each other on policies, on perspectives. That's a robust debate that has to happen amongst Canadians to make sure we're getting it right as a collective, as a country. But to limit the ability of women, of racialized Canadians to serve in government or to hold government to account as journalists, which is the goal of a number of Canadians with very loud voices, well, that's something all parliamentarians and all leaders need to stand against, need to be unequivocal in being responsible leaders, to say, no, we are not going to become that toxic, polarized country that some think we should become.
Oh, Drea, what a hypocrite. I mean, let me just let off some steam, and then I'll let you weigh in on this. I mean, you know, you'd think Justin Trudeau was giving a speech after 9/11 or the bombing of Pearl Harbor or something. This is in regard to one man verbally abusing Chrystia Freeland when she was in an elevator, not even touching her. So much hypocrisy here. He's talking about this being an impediment to women and those in the racialized community getting involved with politics. No, Justin, that would be you. That would be you groping Rose Knight. Remember that? That would be you putting on blackface so many times that not even you can remember how many times you did that. And the cowardly bullying, Drea, I go back to, I think it was last year, where one of his RCMP security detail guys picked you up like a little China doll and moved you aside. You were non-approved media. You weren't government-sanctioned and funded media. You got the kid gloves treatment. Me in December, Justin's Royal Canadian Mounted Henchmen physically assaulted me. They bounced my head off a fence. They gave me COVID. I say that because days later, a story came out showing that half the detail on that trip were COVID infected, yet they did not stay at home. And that's when I got COVID right after that incident.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. It was Sheila Gunn Reid while I was in my bed that sent me that. It was a National Post story and a CBC story indicating that half of his security detail were COVID positive. But then again, this is a prime minister when he's got COVID. He still hops on a plane. He doesn't isolate. He doesn't wear a face diaper, etc. This is outrageous hypocrisy coming out of this man's mouth. And I just wonder if there's anyone in our great Dominion that's buying what he's trying to sell, Drea.
Well, first of all, when he said hate-filled rant, my mind immediately goes to him yelling, if you think you can get on a plane or a train. I mean, I can see him like with almost malice yelling this out. He certainly looked like he was talking from a place of hate. But you're right. There's just so many layers of hypocrisy. Number one, just because someone verbally assaults a female politician doesn't mean they wouldn't do the exact same thing to a male one. I mean, my guess is they would have treated Trudeau the exact same. And I'm not saying it's okay. That would be frightening. If you're in an elevator with a man and they're flipping out with you, that's terrifying. So I get that, and I don't condone that. But why does it always have to be this label? Why does it have to be a sexist thing because it happened to a woman? It's just a politician thing. They don't like you, and that's all this is. And I hate that the left is always, forcing people into these boxes, even myself. So you brought up what happened to us. from, Trudeau's RCMP goons.
Yep.
But I feel obligated to point out, I'm a woman of color that happens to you, but there was no peep about that at all. Commissioner Brenda Lucky said, I don't see anything that's wrong with this at all. I was just asking a question. If you look at that close, it's actually Trudeau who turns to me and puts his hand out to me first. And I go like this. I'm like, no, man, I don't want you anywhere near. If you watch, I don't know if that's the moment, but you'll see it's a little bit before that. But he actually turns to me and puts his hand, and I put my hand in the stop position and make distance. And then they pick me up like a rag doll. So it's just, intimidating someone in an elevator is not cool.
Yep.
Having opinions where you don't like a politician, well, that's freedom of speech, freedom of expression. I'm thankful that these people are not assaulting them. But you're right. There's just so much hypocrisy here.
No, and, Drea, what happened to you? Technically, that is assault. Unless you are under arrest, law enforcement cannot manhandle you in such a way. And you were not under arrest. Far from it. You were a member of the media trying to do your job, like all those other media types who were completely unmolested. But because our editorial stance is not simpatico with the Trudeau Liberals, you're deemed journalist non grata. It is actually absolutely despicable. And by the way, one other thing, guys, do we have any shots of Justin Trudeau in blackface? Because if we can run that.
There's so many to choose
I know there's so many. Like, it should be a hard Google search, really. But there's an element of that I'd like to get your opinion on, Drea, that kind of, goes under the radar.
Is it the tongue?
But also,
the tongue?
It's the one, that video, guys, where he's got the ripped pants, and I think he applied the blackface to, like, his whole body.
To his tongue.
Yeah.
It's his whole body. And his tongue. Tell me what goes on in someone's mind to do that. Like, I swear, is it his tongue? I remember, like, who does that? Who does the legs? This is not someone working with a full cart of decks here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we got it. This is it.
What's with the obsession?
See, this is exactly what I wanted.
People don't have black tongues.
Yeah.
There's something terribly wrong with this person.
This is my issue. It's almost worse than the blackface. He's always sticking out his tongue. Is this how Justin Trudeau thinks how black people get around on a day-to-day basis? They're sticking out their tongue like, a dog panting on a summer day. I mean, what is that?
It's bad.
It's so insulting, Drea. And this guy is lecturing us on women and racialized people. Give me a break.
You just can't. And you mentioned the admitted, she must have felt it differently situation with the reporter as well. So it's just like, he is literally the worst person to be standing up there and saying what he's saying. But I don't know who's still looking at anything he says, really, and going, yes, Justin, you're correct. I don't know who's doing that.
Yeah,
I can't. Even people I know who, were liberals, they're not a fan of him anymore. Like, all the people I know are done with him. So
8% approval rating, and of those 8%ers, if you think you're about to shed your mortal coil, could you please donate your body to science? Actually, just the brain will do. I really want our best scientists to look at something in that gray matter that is making them still support and laud a liar, a hypocrite, someone that embraces a double standard so much that he doesn't even hide it anymore. Why do you still support this man? Unbelievable.
Oh, hi. That was a clip from our Rebel Daily live stream. It's hosted Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by the big boss man, Ezra Levant, and Tuesdays and Thursdays by me, Sheila Gunn-Reid, and my good friend, David Menzies. On the live stream, we talk about the news of the day, we show some videos, and we interact with our viewers at home. We stream at 12 noon Eastern, 10 Mountain. You can find us on YouTube, Rumble, Super U, and Odyssey.